Good evening and welcome to Village Board meeting. Today is Monday, September 13. I apologize for being a little bit late. Our work session, which we began the evening with, ran a little bit late. As perhaps you know, we're trying out a gizmo called the OWL, which we're using to record work sessions and also make them available to all of you via Zoom. A little bit of a work in progress. I think we're going to get better at it, and I'm cautiously confident it's going to work, but the first piece to note is if you're interested in a work session, you can log in via Zoom. The login information for the Zoom meetings are available at pleasantville-ny.gov, and you can watch via Zoom from wherever you are. PCTV posts the video of that sometime within a few days thereafter. Our regular meeting, the one we're in right now, is being broadcast as it normally is through PCTV, and the tape of that will also be up at pctv76.org. As you may have seen in the press, the governor allowed public meetings to occur via Zoom. That had been a right that existed on an emergency basis under a previous executive order. It had expired. The new governor, Governor Hochul, reinstituted that guideline, and it will continue until January. So at the moment, our board, the village board, is going to operate with at least some of us here in the room, but also via Zoom. So your access to the meeting will be via Zoom, or tonight, as is the case for a regular meeting, through PCTV. A little bit of a work in progress, but please keep an eye on pleasantville-ny.gov, and you can find out how best to connect to any of our meetings. Couple of announcements to make. The first is our COVID dashboard numbers. So far, September is feeling a little bit better than August did. So far in September, as of yesterday, which was September 12, we had a total of 12 positives in the village of Pleasantville in September. That's as compared to a total of 78 positives throughout the month of August, 15 positives in the month of July, only 1 in the month of June. So as you can see, the August numbers were alarming. The September numbers are, at least so far, modestly better, and here's hoping they stay that way. As of the moment, there are 17 positive cases in the village of Pleasantville, according to the state. We got one new one today, and we are now at 809 cases cumulative. That is almost certainly an undercount, because not everybody got included in the count, and not everybody who was actually positive ever got tested. But what it means is that well more than 10% of the population of the village of Pleasantville has tested positive at one point or another. So we very much encourage you to get vaccinated. The county center vaccination site is still up and running, as are several others. The county health department website is your best spot, not only for information about vaccines, but also to log into the COVID dashboard, which gives you the numbers I just provided, not only for Pleasantville, but for every community throughout Westchester. And it also allows you to log in and see the vaccination rates. So I was on a Northwell webinar last week. Northwell operates the two hospitals closest to us, Phelps in Sleepy Hollow and Northern Westchester in Mount Kisco. And an interesting evening that was both optimistic and sobering all at the same time. But I think one takeaway that is dramatically clear is that a fully vaccinated person, even though they run the risk of testing positive and even being symptomatically positive because of the Delta variant, is dramatically, fantastically less likely to end up in the hospital. And that a vaccinated person who does end up in the hospital with COVID is even further dramatically unlikely to die of the virus. So the vaccination is critically important, not only for your own safety, but also because it appears evident that vaccinated people, although they can carry and transmit the virus, are likely to do so for a shorter period. So high vaccination rates are equivalent to more safety for all of us. So we're in the circumstance where I think both on behalf of one's own health and safety and that of all those around you, getting a vaccination is a wise thing to do. So please do, and please check in at westchestergov.com if you're interested in the details on vaccinations or the rates. As I think all of us are aware, Saturday was the 20th anniversary of the September 11th tragedy. Paul and David and I were able to be at the town of Mount Pleasant at a joint ceremony held by the town of Mount Pleasant and by the village of Pleasantville, honoring that anniversary. I thought quite a moving ceremony, and a shout out to Carl Fulgenzi and Amanda Giusilli, who works with him, for having put together that event, and a special shout out to Tom Celiano, who is a Mount Pleasant councilman, perhaps known to some as a great golfer and a teacher of golf at Pleasantville Country Club, but as it turns out was also is now a retired New York City Fire Department lieutenant. He was not involved in the 9/11 event, but knew many people that were, and he spoke, I thought, extraordinarily movingly, and it was an important part of the day. The next day, on Saturday, the actual anniversary, a thank you to the Burns for opening up their theater, and thank you to Andrea Barberini for all the many things she does, but there was a screening of the movie she made some years back called From the Ground Up, which focused on the experience of several different 9/11 widows and 9/11 families, Andrea's being just one of them. A really amazing film, a moving film, and one that I had seen a long time ago and was really moved to have the chance to see it again. A very well attended event, one of those moments that felt like Pleasantville wrapping its arms around not only a tragedy, but wrapping its arms around folks who were most affected by that tragedy. And I was pleased and moved by another 9/11 widow who was there in person in the Q&A thereafter, and she said, "Andrea keeps telling me to move to Pleasantville," so here's hoping she achieves that, and here's hoping the community would wrap its arms around her just as they have Andrea and her family. So a solemn event, a complicated story, but one that I feel we honored appropriately. So PCTV was at the service at the Mount Pleasant Recreation Center, and they'll have that video up online at pctv76.org.
It's up now.
It's up now, Shane reports. So anyone who missed that and would be interested in hearing it, I particularly draw your attention to Tom Celiano's comments, which I thought were an important takeaway from that event. So pctv76.org. A couple of other things to report. As I have repeatedly mentioned, the Village Board confronts the decision that all communities in Westchester do now that marijuana has been legalized across New York State. We have the right to opt out or not from having a local retail dispensary, and to opt out or not from having the possibility of licensed on-site consumption places, lounges, or whatever. We are required to make that decision by December 31. If we're going to opt out, it has to be by a local law passed by December 31. That law has the capacity to be challenged by a permissive referendum. If we chose to opt out and folks disagreed with it, there would be a petition option, and if enough signatures were achieved, it could end up as a public referendum. So at any rate, it's our hope and expectation that there are lots of folks in the community that have opinions on this subject, and we invite everybody to comment on it. I know the folks at Pleasantville Strong have focused on this and have lots to say. We're going to begin that discussion with the community at 7 p.m. on Monday, September 27. That's the slot that would normally be the work session for the Village Board. Instead, we're going to devote that first hour of our evening, 7 p.m. Monday the 27th, to a town hall discussion about this decision we confront about marijuana retail dispensaries and or on-site consumption lounges. Lots of discussion going on in the communities. I think Pleasantville Strong is likely to have a presentation about their view of it, Anyone else who would like to do so is invited to. We'll begin with just a brief explication of the decision we confront and what led up to it and what the rules are. I am inclined to believe that the conversation will take more than an hour, so our plan is to break it up into several sessions as need be, to begin at 7 p.m. on Monday the 27th and spend the first hour 7 to 8 with this discussion, and then pick up from there at a date to be determined based on the feedback we get from all of you. So 2 weeks from today, September 27th. A couple of other things to report. We're moving forward on the revisions we sent information about at the South End of Memorial Plaza. Eric, where's Jeff on that?
Right now, he's still working with Con Ed and our curb and sidewalk vendor. So most likely changes are to happen late September or early October.
Okay, and we're about to roll into annual milling and paving on some streets?
That's right. So starting this Friday, we'll start milling and then paving early next week. It's all weather dependent, so subject to change. Right now, Mother Nature looks to be cooperating, but as we know, that can change.
All right, so that's a perfect segue to two things. One is you can find out about the schedule for all these things if you're on the village news email list. If you go to pleasantville-ny.gov, in the left-hand column, subscribe to news, you can choose the things you want, and you'll find out about these things automatically, and you can also subscribe at your wish, as you may wish, to the agendas for various committees. The other piece, referring to Mother Nature, is I wanted to close with a comment about the impacts of the remains of Hurricane Ida as it swept through our realm. It's almost shocking to say that Pleasantville got off easy. Certainly it did in comparison to places like Mamaroneck that were just very badly impacted. But I just want everyone to realize that not everybody in Pleasantville got off so easily. We had quite a number of houses that were very badly flooded. We had quite a number of people who lost their cars. It was an extraordinary amount of rain that, among other things, knocked out the last week of service at our Pleasantville pool by dumping an extraordinary amount of mud into the pool when the pond overtopped the dam and came washing down and knocked down all the fences and washed its way into the pool. So, as is always the case after an event like this, there's kind of a post-mortem to say, what is it that could be done, if anything, in some of the locations that were badly hit to protect them in the future, and we're certainly going to engage that. But in the near term, our sympathies go out to everybody who's suffering from everything from the relatively minor problems, like mine, the dumpster in the driveway to get rid of the basement carpet, but certainly that pales in comparison to folks who lost their basement, their first floor, a lot of their belongings, and in a few cases, their cars. So an extraordinarily tough day. Shout out to the fire department, which helped a lot. Shout out to the DPW folks who were up early trying to address all that had happened. Certainly worth noting to folks that it's easy to ignore dire weather forecasts and say, it may not happen. There were some people in our region who did just that and did not survive the experience. So please be careful. So, anybody else have anything to add to all of that list? All right. One more bright note I get to offer here, as if we didn't have enough viruses to worry about. County Health Department sent a note today that the first case of a hospitalized patient with West Nile virus has appeared in the county. So same story, after this deluge we have experienced, please get rid of standing water on your property as soon as you can, because the mosquito-borne West Nile virus is out and about. All right, with that, any announcements, any comment from the public on any subject? Off we go. 224, Paul.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby approves the minutes of the regular meeting held on August 23rd, 2021.
Is there a second?
Second.
Comments or corrections to the minutes? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved. 225.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby approves the following budget amendments for the fiscal year ending in 2022 as listed below. Budget transfers of the general fund, $4,300 from contingent to transfer to capital for the Manville Road project. Increased revenue and expense in the capital fund, $4,300. Interfund transfer from general fund, the same transfer.
Is there a second?
Second.
Pretty straightforward.
Yep, and some good news on the Manville Road front. DOT has informed us that we've responded to all their major comments. There are some minor open-ended replies that we need to offer, but it looks like we'll be on schedule to go out to bid according to our timeline.
Great.
That's great.
All right. David, 226.
Resolved, the Board of Trustees hereby approves the abstract for payment of claims dated September 13th, 2021 for fiscal year ending 2022, covering check numbers 101306 to 101472. From the general fund, $167,738.41. The water fund, $124,809. From the capital fund, $27,460.90. From the refuse fund, $1,074.91. From the trust fund, $3,300 even, for a total of $324,374.31.
Is there a second?
Second.
Comments or questions on the check register? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion approved. Michael, 227.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby accepts the resignation of Felicia Kratz, Robin Sheehy, Carrie Casey, and Parul Marai, Recreation Assistants, Panther Club, effective August 30th, 2021.
Is there a second?
Second.
This reflects the business of going back to everybody who is a former Panther Club employee and finding out if they want to come back as we ramp up for the new year.
Right, that's right. So we're only allocated a certain number of rec assistant positions as per county HR. So as we have them resign, we need to chase them down for resignation letters so we can open up that position.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. Number 228, Paul.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby approves the appointment of Adrian Rivera and Corey Dawkins as part-time in the job title Court Attendant, job class 051, to serve in the Village Justice Court effective September 14th, 2021 at a rate of $20 per hour.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion approved. Nicole, 229.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby approves the request from Holy Innocents Parish to close the Tompkins Avenue Parking Lot to public parking on Sunday, September 26, 2021, from 4 p.m. until 8 p.m. for the purpose of a parish special event.
Is there a second?
Second.
These requests are an occasion to remind everybody that that parking lot is actually owned by Holy Innocents. And we have an agreement, and have had for many years, that the village improved it at one point and maintains it in exchange for public use for part of the lot most of the time. So in this circumstance, they're coming back to us and asking permission, as is part of the agreement, to use their own parking lot, which we're happy to agree to. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion approved. 230, David.
Resolved, the Board of Trustees hereby approves the appointment of Sarah Winston to the Village of Pleasantville Police Department as Community Service Worker, Job Code 0138-01, CSEB Wage Schedule B, Step 1, annual salary $46,265, effective September 14th, 2021, with the start date of September 14th, 2021. Said appointment is subject to a probationary period of not less than 12 weeks to a maximum of 52 weeks, and contingent upon completion of a conditional job offer pre-employment requirements.
Is there a second?
Second.
This is essentially a parking enforcement officer, although she will serve in several other roles.
That's right. Community service worker has a more broad job description, so we've opted to go with this title. So this is the second one we've brought on. Marion, our longtime parking enforcement officer, is set to retire in November. So we'll now have 2 of these officers working under her for the next month and a half.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion approved. 231, Michael.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby approves the hiring of Dena Conahan as a part-time school crossing guard on an as-needed basis, job code 0141, at the hourly rate of $20.62, with an effective date of August 24th, 2021. Said appointment is subject to a probationary period of not less than 12 weeks to a maximum of 52 weeks.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion approved. 232, Paul.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees of the Village of Pleasantville hereby accepts the resignation from school crossing guard Louis Silviotti, effective August 26, 2021.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Lou, for many years of service. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion approved. Let's see. 233, yes.
Nicole.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby approves the request from Sarah Huckinen, 41 Romer Avenue, to hold a block party and thereby close Romer Avenue from 43 Romer Avenue to 61 Romer Avenue on Saturday, October 2nd, 2021, from 2 p.m. to 11 p.m.
Is there a second?
Second.
That should be a fun party.
I have, Romer has a long history of delivering on fun block parties.
It is on October 2nd.
Uh-oh, competition.
I just
It's
noticed.
an Oktoberfest.
All right.
Is this
So much
gonna-
for the Oktoberfest.
Oh, man.
Is this going to not be unanimous here? Do you want to
Well, you should
protest?
just see if the businesses could put a booth on the street there.
Right, just go over there.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. Have a good time on Romer. 234, David.
Resolved, the Board of Trustees has received and examined a copy of the Village of Pleasantville Justice Court Audit for fiscal year ending May 31st, 2021. All fines identified therein have been turned over to the proper official of the village and authorizes the village clerk to file the audit with the Office of Court Administration pursuant to Section 201 of the Uniform Justice Court Act.
Is there a second?
Second.
That document is that available on the treasurer's page, Eric?
Yeah, it's also attached to this agenda
Right.
item as well.
But for the interest of the public, it's
Yes,
available
we
there.
can post it today.
All right, a basically clean audit, no surprise there. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion approved. 235.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby approves the hiring of the following part-time recreation assistants, job code 0269. Teresa De Palma at $20 an hour, effective 9/14/21 for Panther Club. Juliana Rush at the same rate, $20 an hour, effective 9/14 for Panther Club. And Christine Gallery at $20 an hour, effective 9/14 for Panther Club. Further
Is-
resolved that such appointments are contingent upon successful completion of mandatory background checks.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, welcome Teresa, Juliana, and Christine. 236, Paul.
Whereas the Village Board of Trustees is considering a local law to amend the village code to change 2 15-minute time-limited parking spaces on the north side of Manville Road, 61 feet east of Washington Avenue, to 30-minute time-limited spaces. Resolved that the Board of Trustees of the Village of Pleasantville shall hold a public hearing concerning introductory local law 6 of 2021 on September 27th, 2021 at 8 p.m. at Village Hall, 80 Wheeler Avenue, Pleasantville, New York, to consider the proposed local law.
Is there a second?
Second.
So these 2 spaces are the spaces that are in front of the new Route to Rise store and restaurant. They, as you likely recall, used to be in front of King's Crown Liquor. At the point at which the Burns Film Center opened, King's Crown asked us, and we agreed to create 2 short-term spaces in front of the store since he had the need for folks to get in and out quickly. As it turns out, route to rise, the dynamics are a little different, and 30 minutes would make more sense. So that's the genesis of this. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion approved. 237, Nicole.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees of the Village of Pleasantville hereby authorizes the mayor to sign the agreement with the Pleasantville Police Benevolent Association for the years June 1st, 2019 through May 31st, 2022.
Is there a second?
Second.
Long time coming.
Yeah, we authorized the signing of the MOU a few months ago, which is essentially agreeing to the terms. Now we've gotten the full contract back, different terms on the wording, and now we execute.
Excellent.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion approved, and then we're back at it almost immediately.
That's right.
All right, those are the last of our regular agenda items. We have an executive session to discuss both a personnel and a real property matter. Any further comment from board members or from a member of the public? You are our proxy public.
Nothing to say, Abby.
All right, without any further comment, we have a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Hold it second. Got to get a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, aye. Into executive session. Thank you all for watching. We look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks, and be recalling that the 7 p.m. section of our meeting from 7 to 8 will be the first of our discussions about the marijuana opt-in, opt-out decision that we confront. Thank you and good night.